Hey everybody, Chris here. This is a funny video I've been wanting to make for some time just to really help you out. Next time you go out shopping anywhere you go and you face a self-checkout register, I check out thousands and thousands of items every week through a self-checkout register. And it is not your fault that you don't understand this technology, because if you're a boomer or you're a little older, we missed it. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Nintendo Zapper gun that came out in October of 1995. Let me explain what I'm talking about. At a self-checkout register, you're going to have three different choices of the way that you check out something. You're going to generally have a flat, lit up screen that glows red or some color. In front of that, you're going to have another screen that is facing you that will glow, and it's usually some type of red color. And then above it, somewhere on the register, and you'll see this in most every shop that you go to, there is a pistol looking item there at the top. That's what you want to get, because that is the quickest and easiest way that you can get through a self-checkout register as far as being able to get it. But what happened was, for a younger generation, let me explain, we paid quarter after quarter and stood for hours in video arcades when we were teenagers, right in those years. Video arcades were all over Blacksburg. I'm sure in your town, video arcades were everywhere. And they were a quarter a pop, and you had to pay a quarter to play. And there was no light-operated game at that time. Everything had a cable hooked to it, had some type of duck hunt or shoot 'em game or something like that. So over a period of time, Nintendo came out with Duck Hunt. And so I don't know how many people ever had the game Duck Hunt, but it came with a light gun that you would use, and you had to hook it up to your TV, and it was a really expensive game because of the technology. And so this is the way that this, I can hold this up really close. Let's see. Here we go. So this was the coveted light gun that went with the Nintendos. And so now is your opportunity to play with that light gun for free everywhere you go. At a self-checkout register, it's going to have one of those light guns. And so the way that they work are really, really easy. And it's a much easier and smoother way, I think, to check something out when you're going through a self-checkout register. So I see so many people when they approach the registers and they just look lost as far as what to do and how to approach it. So first off, wherever you're at, look, and a lot of times there are signs that will say whether this is a cash-only register or this is a card-only register in which you would only use your debit card or your credit card. So that would be a decision that you would want to make as far as which line to get into. And so that will help you there. Once you get up to the line and your spot, what you're looking for is the barcode. Every item in every store has a barcode, and that barcode is electronically tied to the inventory of the store. And so that's how they register what that item is. So on an item, I'm sure most people have seen these, but there's like a cat food can. There's a barcode. And the barcode number goes from the little bitty number all the way through all the numbers to the other number. And so that's the entire barcode number. Most items that are really big or cumbersome will end up with the barcode on the bottom of the item. A lot of things, that's not a big cumbersome thing, but the barcode's on the bottom. So just look. That's what you're looking for. If you have a lot of things in your buggy and you have it just piled down, you have all the barcodes facing down, It's going to cause you problems when you come to the self-checkout line. Yeah, or if you're having someone check it out for you, that's what they're going to have to dig for. A couple of items. Things like this at a grocery store, generally there's a selection there that you can select by name or you can select by picture. So you would guess that's a squash and you would start from there and you would be able to get through. The problem always comes when someone brings something like this up to the front. If you brought this up to the front and you handed it to me at the registers, what am I supposed to put in? If the person says those are $3, that's not the way that any store works. This is where you will get stuck at a register. And I don't want you to get stuck at a register. I don't want you to be in this position because this is what happens. Because the clerk, whoever it is that's checking you out, wherever you're at, is Walmart, it's a shirt, if it's a jacket, if it's a pair of shoes, if it's a screwdriver, if it does not have that barcode attached to it, then that person at the register is just lost. They are not going to know what to put in. There are places in which we can guess, depending on the store, you can punch it in and guess what it is. Yellow screwdriver. But you can imagine the number of choices that would come up. Again, you're wanting to move through your self-checkout experience as quickly as possible. So, a couple of things to think about doing. Find someone on the floor. See if you see any other ones. See if you see one that has a barcode on it. Even if you want to get this one, bring the other one to the register with you so that the clerk can beep that barcode number, and that way you can go on with that. If you see someone on the floor, ask them, help them identify that on the floor when you're not pressured and standing in line, there's other people there, and you're trying to get everything collected out. So remember that. Always take a picture. If you're in a situation where there's something that is for sale or it's on a special display, if there is not a barcode number on the item that you want, use your cell phone and take a picture of that item number or that barcode number. Most everything on a shelf is going to have a barcode number on the shelf there with it. If you take a picture of it, any more than modern technology, you can actually enlarge that barcode number and beep it at the register. And so that will actually come through it, or at least give that information to the clerk. Also, as far as something like a piece of wire, a piece of twine, a piece of chain, something like that, talk to someone on the floor. Make sure that you have someone give you the item number so that when you go to the register, if you have to punch in the item number or if you give it to the clerk that works there, they'll have something to punch in. Otherwise, if you hand them a length of chain and say it's $4, that doesn't help at all. We want to really help you and want to be able to get you out as quick as possible and on with your day. And so these are just a couple of the things that will slow you up. If you come through a self-checkout line, wherever you are, make sure that you see where the barcode numbers are. Your hand-eye coordination in using the light gun is much, much higher as far as where the item is using your other hand than trying to wave it in front of these self-checkout readers that are on the front of the machine. The problem is that if you wave it and it beeps and then you go to put it in the bag, if you wave it again, it will read it again. So when you hold it in your hand, if you use the electronic gun, you beep it, turn your barcode away from those readers when you put it in the bag. And that way it won't read it and beep it again. And then you're sort of stuck again with having someone come over and reverse it because you beeped it too many times. So use your hand-eye coordination. It's an opportunity to finally play with the Nintendo Zapper gun. It was a really expensive accessory that we never ever had. So boomers, you can do this. You can learn how the self-checkout things go. And I'll do you more videos on other things, but I wanted to remind you that you could do this and that it didn't cost us a quarter. So subscribe and like. I'll see you next time.